have dog face. You've got floppy ears. And you got a scratchy chin. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's coming. It's happening. There it goes. Right there. There we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Use of a Problem, episode number 739. Goodness gracious. Shiny Shirt Week. This one is blinding. Oh my goodness. It is a mirror. You can see yourself in it. Hopefully it's not just illuminating your entire home right now, because it is even hurting my eyes on the video feed. But day 26 of Shiny Shirt Week. Bam. This is very shiny. How's everyone doing? What's going on? What's happening? What's the happenings? The SEC today said that they are going to postpone the reporting requirements for short holders till 2028, because they're trying to basically make it so that no one never have to report. So as long as you keep postponing it, then everyone's happy, right? Except for retail traders and everyone who cares about market accountability or transparency or anything else. It was revealed today that Trump may have given the order directly to the admiral to kill all the survivors in the vaporization of fishing boats in the Caribbean. So that's a new context for the war crimes that are being committed. Also, GameStop had a little green today. I didn't quite get to the 2K I was hoping for. I got to 1,500, which is that's all right. I sold out. I will look at tomorrow to see if I jump back in. I might wait until Friday before I do anything, just to see kind of where Max Payne is Friday, and if I'm going to. I'll probably play, because I guess it'll go green going into earnings on Tuesday. So we'll see if I can double it again. We'll try. But 70 to 1,500 is a pretty good run over 11 days. So I'll take it. What else? I don't know. Well, I'll just hit the button here, because it's dark outside, right? Boink. Whoop, didn't happen. Try again. Okay. Nope. Wait, where'd you go? There it is. All right. What's going on, man? What's happening, man? She's very happy. Look at that face. Look at that face. That is a very content dog. Getting the neck waddle scratch. Oh, that was good, wasn't it? Oh, boy. Yes. She's like, don't care. What about the TREATs up there? Okay, turn off the intro. Ding dong. Boom. The intro is off. Scroll up. GDC first. My online entity second. First. Hot Pocket Rebel found what I believe to be a meteorite over 10 years ago, brought to a professor at a college over 10 years ago, and he said it was not any recommendations on where to go for an honest second opinion. I mean, if you have a natural history museum or another professor, those are the two places to go. You can send me a picture of it. I can give you a yes or no on it. Is it magnetic? Like, can you lift it with a magnet or anything like that? That's one way to test if it's an iron meteorite. A lot of people confuse like volcanic cinder for meteorites, because it looks like it's been burned because it's shot out of a volcanic tube. But yeah, that's what I do. My own entity and second ironically. Hot Pocket Rebel. The thing weighs probably 5 pounds and it is magnetic in certain spots. It looks like a giant meteorite. Huh. Well, if it's magnetic in certain spots, could be that, or it could be like hematite or something. So, shoot me a picture. Brandon Wells, sup BBBY. Oh yeah, BBBY. The BBBY bonds are now no longer in default. That's an interesting step. Why would the bonds no longer be default? Because no one's gotten paid on those bonds. So now the rumor mill is that there's going to be an swap of sorts, where new debt will be issued by the current version of BBBY which is the overstock version, to the legacy bondholders, and that they'll be now getting paid by the legacy BBBY. I'm not sure exactly why that would happen. I think it would be better if they received equity than being owed billions of dollars in cash that current BBBY doesn't have because they don't make a profit. So it'd probably behoove the corporation to issue equity instead to clear those things out. But I guess we'll see where it goes. But at the moment, nobody's been paid spit. They haven't gotten any of their interest payments or anything like that. So I don't know how it's not in default if that's the case. But GDC. For fans of classic movies, this is a good week to rewatch Casablanca. The movie takes place on December 2nd to 3rd, 1941. Basapa Man, not first, not last. This is true. Wormfall, dang, not first. Happy birthday, Jason. Very curious how many button-up shirts you have. I watch just every episode. I watch and just envy your closet space. I have 4 closets. The last time I tallied, it was around 800. It's more than that now because I've received shirts since then, mostly from viewers like you. So yeah, it's 800 something shirts. I don't wear all of them on the show. A lot of them are really, really, really fancy, antique silk Hawaiian shirts that should just be in a museum probably. And I don't really wear those ones. I look at them and I go, but I don't necessarily wear them. There's a couple of modern silk ones that I'll wear of Hawaiian shirts, but not the ones that date from like the 20s and 30s. Those suckers, they're probably worth a pretty penny. So they just stay in the closet, and I appreciate them. GC says HW switched to live chat from Top Chat. I'm in live. Oh, I'm still on Top Chat over here, and I forgot to put it on multi-stream. There we go. Multi-stream on that side, so I can see Twitch people who chat once a show. Copper Tone Sunscreen at birthday said, whatever happened to the room temperature superconductor? Was it all fake? Oh, we talked about this last week. Nothing. No one could recreate it. So, as far as we know, there is no room temperature superconductor. Although we did read about a press release from last week about a lab who says they're now on the path to be able to create one someday. Which is, I mean, I could technically say I'm on the path to create one someday, and I'm not doing shit about it. So, yeah. And Basapamon says, turn off the intro and turn on multi-stream. Just did. Boom. The Polestar just says yo over now in the Twitch side. Dig Dig Doink says 14th. Tony RR7C made a whopping 6 figures last year. I was also fired from the toy factory for being too slow. That's funny. Okay. And Dig Dig Doink says hit the like button. Mr. E Meat. How do season happen? And what does this have to do with the title? The title of the Earth? I mean, Tilt of the Earth? Well, we can talk about that. Scene. Google Earth. We're on Google Earth. Okay, let's get out here. Okay, so the Earth is actually tilted at 23 degrees. Be better if we can. So here we go. So imagine, right, the sun is coming from this side. So the direct sunlight is hitting the southern hemisphere. This would be the summertime in the southern hemisphere. The sunlight is hitting Antarctica, right? So no matter how the Earth rotates at this point, Antarctica is always visible to that sun. Oh, my Earth is detilting here. We're going to keep tilting. So no matter where the sun is hitting, right, Antarctica is visible to that sun. So you're at 6 months of daylight down here, right? When the Earth, which is tilting, which, use a baseball, is tilting, when the Earth ends up on the other side of the sun, where the sunlight is coming from over here, right? Now the northern hemisphere is getting most of the sunlight. And that light is now allowing the Arctic to be lit up 24 hours a day. That's basically your seasons. Now, a lot of people think the seasons have to do with the elliptical orbit of the Earth, where the Earth is like 9 million miles closer to the sun, 8 million miles closer to the sun during one part of the year versus the other part of the year. That has minimal effect on the Earth. There's one of the favorite things of like preachers who don't really know how anything works is they'll talk about like everything is so perfect and so planned by God that if the Earth was even 1 inch out of orbit, no life on Earth could exist. And then you have to explain to that preacher that the Earth changes about 10% of its orbit every year, and it doesn't make a difference. We're within the Goldilocks zone. That's all that matters. And so yeah, those are your seasons. It's as simple as that. It's just the tilt of the Earth, light hitting from one side, the Earth ending up on the other side, and light hitting from the other side. So it just keeps rotating on that tilted axis. And that's why I got seasons. So there you go. Michael Joe 2UO. What was the point where it all went wrong? Higgs boson, Harambe, the Trinity test, Sherman not finishing his march. Sherman not finishing his march is he should have just kept burning. And I say this to someone whose great grandmother's home was spared by Sherman. Sherman burnt down everything else, but for some reason he saved the house. I don't know why. But they should have kept burning, and Reconstruction should have just kept going for another 30, 40 years until it was all stamped out. That probably would have fixed things. But more recently, I would say the election of George W. Bush is the most recent cataclysm that we had in 2000. Things were going really well. Oil was $10 a barrel. Gasoline was 87 cents a gallon. We're growing jobs like crazy. The economy was booming. We had a huge surplus, $200 billion a year surplus with the government. We were paying down debt, right? We were starting to invest in infrastructure and do these things. And then for some reason, the American public was like, you know what? I think I want to have a beer with that guy who's a alcoholic who doesn't drink because he has multiple DUIs. Then we elected that guy, or I guess the Supreme Court selected him or whatever. And then we had war and recession basically since then. And it's been a fucking nightmare. So he destroys the economy, gets a whole bunch of people killed. He spends trillions of dollars on wars. And we get Obama for 2 terms. And things start to like look better, feel better, act better. You know, he's pulling us out of the hole of the global financial crisis. They're starting to get some accountability at banks and in the markets. And we reward him by electing the worst human being to ever hold the office. And immediately, pandemic and recession. Just do it all over again. And for some reason, we gave him a spot again. And it's just been a fucking nightmare. That's where we are. We are in nightmare land. Giving ourselves nightmares over and over and over again. And that's, you know, we should be better at this. We should know better, but for some reason we just don't. And that's where we are. Oh well. Okay. Hilaire Umad. How do you handle the stress of constantly consuming bad news? I mean, first of all, when you read the bad news, you have to understand that you yourself as an individual, unless you are like a senator or whatever, you're pretty powerless. You don't have the ability to change the outcomes of these cataclysmic things that they're doing. The wars and the recessions and the famines and everything else. You personally, on a personal level, all you can do is help those in your immediate vicinity. I might be just like a speck above because I have, you know, tens of thousands of people who will listen to me at some point. And I can yickety yak. People will go, oh, look at that, what that guy's saying. But I'm not on like television. I don't have a newspaper. I don't own a multinational corporation or a media conglomerate or anything of that stuff. I'm just a weirdo in a stupid shirt on on YouTube that sometimes people watch. Most of the time do not. And I think for me, understanding what's going on is important. I don't like being in the dark about anything. So I try to consume everything I can, good or bad. And I know that I am powerless to that information, but I am empowered by knowing it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I kind of feel. Like, I like knowing what's going on. I I can't do anything about it, but at least I can control that. I can suck information through the holes in my head, and oh my gosh, I'm going to destroy you. Stop it. Magnet knocking all the time. Stop knocking magnets. Well, there's a spare one. Okay. Oh, all right. Plus, I got an asshole cat who's constantly knocking magnets off my little board here. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention, don'ttrustbillionaires.com, our sponsor currently, has a bunch of new stuff up there. They're raising money for all sorts of charities, as well as homelessness and everything else. So don'ttrustbillionaires.com. It's up there. And a reminder, if you do want a spot on the board, a whopping $50. It will stay up until the next person pays $50. So, right, you little turd. And this little turd will help advertise by getting in the way and knocking the magnets off and being a little monster, right? Being a little monster. Being a little monster. Huh? Yeah. Oh, you're trying to get me? You're too fat. You're too fat to get me. Okay. Susan54, Wikipedia has not hit their funding goal this month. Although we cannot have Charity Tuesday, we can still give. If you are so inclined, please donate. Also, Humane Society, local shelters, food bank. Yes, this would be the month, because we're December, that I would normally do our St. Jude Children's Hospital charity. YouTube still has not figured out how to give me more than 50 charity shows. And it's a real bummer, because it's 6 months. That's 6 months. That's like, I don't know, $12,000 to $15,000 in charity we would have raised in those 6 months. And it really pisses me off that we can't do that yet. So if you have a chance, write YouTube and yell at them for not allowing more than 50 charity shows on a channel, because it's just stupid. We've raised $122,000 for charity over 4 years, and suddenly we just can't anymore. Like, they get a tax write-off from it. Why don't you want that tax write-off? What's the deal, man? You think you'd want lots of charity on your channel? I don't know. We only do it once a month. We do 20-something shows, and one of those shows is a charity show. So, yeah. But yes, thank you for the reminder. There, Citizen54. People can donate, help Wikipedia out, because we're going to be stuck with that Grokpedia crap if you don't. ECB, Michael Lewis had a sit down with Michael Burry. It was very interesting. Numerous topics. Burry said to wait around for a big crash was stupid, i.e. Ryan Cohen's entire plan, unless you're wealthy. Yeah, I mean, you have these giant media conglomerates are all merging, and they're not waiting for a crash. You have oil companies merging, and they're not waiting for a crash. There's no point in sitting around waiting. You can make plays happen. You can pick up bankrupt companies, take their IP, take their factories, there's all sorts of plays you can make right now that don't involve just like purchasing stock at a discount. You can still find deals out there, and there's lots of deals. Like I was talking about many, many months ago, you got $10 billion in cash, right? For $2 billion, you can buy up every mini mall in the whole country that houses a GameStop. Every single one. For $2 billion. You would own that real estate. Now you don't pay rent anymore for your shops. And you now receive $400 million a year in rent from the other tenants in those mini malls. Why wouldn't you take $400 million a year profit? In 5 years, you've paid back the $2 billion you've spent. You have nothing but equity of $2 billion plus another $400 million in profit. Right now, there's an absolute bottom in the commercial real estate market. Take it, use it. You know, the value of companies like Sears was in the real estate. Sears had $10-12 billion in real estate. The Art Institute, who I worked for, the Art Institute was one of the largest landholders in the entire country, and they were so valuable because of all the land they owned. What happened is that Goldman Sachs and private equity got in there and sold off all the land, and then made the company worthless and it went out of business. But prior to that, they made so much money off rent. There was one building that Seattle Art Institute had that did $6 million a year in rent. One building, $6 million a year. They sold that building at the bottom of the market for $12 million and then rented back their space for $600,000 a year. And all of a sudden they're like, we aren't making any money anymore. Yeah, you dipshit. You just lost $6 million in revenue. What is wrong with you? So yeah, buying up that commercial real estate, holding on to it, and getting revenue from the other sources, it's a brilliant move. You're making $400 million a year off of that. That just doubles your revenue. If you're GameStop, right there, doubles it. So do that. I don't understand. Oh, super chats came in and I've missed them. Sucker blue. Bill Coyne, move the bottom paid advertisement to the top slot in the cabinet. Can't read it. I was doing that, but I was told to move this one up top because when this one was down below, no one could see the cat. And that's so I moved it that way. I can move it back and then the cat disappears and everyone gets mad about that because he's, Batman and he's dark as night. So I guess here we'll put it. I can make a poll, right? I can do this. Start a poll. Black ad top or bottom? Top? Bottom. Okay. So, bam, start poll. All right, the poll's up there. We'll see if you want this ad on the top or the bottom. This one, the black ad on the top or the bottom. Currently, it's on the top. So, if you want the cat to disappear and you want the white ad up top, let me know. Well, we will change that up accordingly. Okay, where was I? Oh, and GDC, only 2 more Houston shows until episode 741. Are you the catalyst? $10 towards eating the spam. Shout out to GDC squad. So that's 10 for a yes of eating the 30-year-old can of spam. All right. There we go. Thank you. All right, guys, scroll back up and get to where I was in the regular chat here. It was just below before the ECB. Hot Like a Rebel. My YouTube recap says Houston Wade is my #1 most viewed channel. I watched 181 of your shows in 2025. Thanks for all the great shows. Holy smokes. It's weird to think I did 181 or more shows in 2025. That's a school year. You do like 180 days of school in the school year. I did that many shows. That feels weird. And I do more shows now than before because I used to do three shows a week, just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then now I try to do 5 a week, but then I got sick and there's holidays, so it's like 4 probably on average. So I'm adding more shows in there. Hey guy, what are you trying to accomplish here? What are you trying to accomplish? You're trying to sort of snuggle, but then you don't want to snuggle. Okay, there he is. There he is. I should just get like a white desk and then he can be seen all the times. Don't you do it. Don't you rub your face on it. Don't you do it, you little monster. Okay. GDC, no one asked, but people should also watch From Here to Eternity 1954 this week. You can skip Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor 2000. Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor was like the most... It's like when they go in to like gentrify a neighborhood. That's what that movie was. They took the 1940s and they just like Disneyfied it and turned it into a Starbucks. Not a single person smoking a cigarette. Like, I don't know. There's nothing nitty or gritty about it. It's just basically like, hey, the Japanese bombed us. I'm going to be part of Doolittle's raid. And it's over. And you're like, what the hell was that all about? Midway was also kind of terrible in that respect as well. So, there hasn't been truly good, big budget World War II films in a while. What was the last good big budget World War II film you can think of, Monkey? Saving Private Ryan. Thin Red Line. Glorious Bastards. Glorious Bastards is now like 15 years old now or something. Dang. Who else? I know you're looking at the TREATs, but no one's sent any demands for it yet, Monkey. So you're gonna be stuck there. But a lot of the World War II films of late have just been like schlock. Fury is pretty good. Band of Brothers in 1989. That's 26 years ago, man. So Fury was 2010, 9. Fury come out. Here's Fury release date. 2014. Okay, so that's 11 years ago. So, all right, we're getting closer. Yeah, but it just seems like there's been a lot of just like candy movies. One of the things I appreciate about Stranger Things is that they show like everyone smoking and like drinking and not wearing seatbelts and like the things in the 80s that you remember in your childhood. And I appreciate that. I appreciate them not trying to like sugarcoat this crap. You got a bunch of Midwesterners in Indiana being mulleted Midwesterners, and that's what you got. Julio sending a super chat. A monkey butt treat, por favor. Oh, your savior. Your Cuban savior, monkey. Bam, you got it? Give it a try? Get in there? Yeah? Come on. You got a few seconds to try to break a piece off of there. Or that dog gets done with hers. Come on. You can do it. The desperation is there. Oh, come on, man. Come on. You almost got it. Yeah, it's so close. Oh, should I just give it to you? He's kind of failing here. He's so desperate. Like there's like this like look in his eyes of like I need to get one of these. I need it so bad. Well, cat spit. There you go. Yes. Cat spit. You tried, buddy. You tried. Good job. We'll reward you with some crack cocaine. Come on. Get out of there. There you are. Enjoy your drugs. Don't blow them all over the place. Piece of paper can go over there and get out of the way of your drugs. Okay. And GDC treat for monkey. I like Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. Oh, Dunkirk was all right. And we'll do another nuggie here. How about a cracker nuggie, monkey? From Costco. Yeah. Oh boy. They're coming in hot. Going hot with the monkey treats. Yeah. Look at all these drugs. Let's put them in a pile here. They got to be in a pile. Just keep blowing them around. You can't eat them. Got to stick your tongue out, dude. Hacksaw Ridge. I didn't actually like Hacksaw Ridge that much. The story is cool about this Quaker who doesn't believe in violence and war, but he becomes a medic and saves a whole bunch of people and whatnot. I don't know. It just felt like it just didn't. I don't know. It just felt too staged. Like Fury, Dunkirk. They just felt much more on location and not so much like soundstage. I don't know. I don't know how else to say. Hacksaw Ridge just didn't quite tickle my fancy there. The story was cool, but I just don't think the execution was there. Okay, did that one. Joe M3I9U. Houston is the best streamer for news, market takes, and geology lessons that is on the fine application. I don't know how many other people go out there. I don't know how many shows just go through the chat one by one for at least an hour, trying to hit every single question. I try to get everybody if I can. Sometimes I forget that I'm not on live chat and I miss you and I apologize. But I don't know who else does it like this. And if I don't know the answer, we try to find it, right? So we get in there. GDC, I can't take Vince Vaughn seriously as a tough guy sergeant. Hacksaw Ridge. That's also part of the problem, is that Vince Vaughn I think only works as a cynical comedy guy. That his serious acting chops just aren't there. I mean, it works great as in like dry comedies, but and silly comedies, dark comedies. But serious roles, he just doesn't. He seems too like he's about to say a joke and he doesn't, and you're like, well, what was the point of this? Claw me. Um, And Joe, GDC is asking for, he's asking GDC for movies there. How about Rebel? Your stock plays and picks are all duds. That's okay. I was broke to begin with. And what's losing more money to shit companies like No Lab, Chimie, or BBY? Maybe one day we'll finally have a victory to celebrate. Yeah, my plug and chugs in my Vanguard account just keep earning money over and over and over again. But the stock plays, for the most part, garbage. Overall, on my options plays, I do all right. Like I said, like 4 of them, 4 out of 5. It's like meh, that 5th really makes up for it. And so, like this week, doing all right. Just a little slow burn. Turn a little bit of money into almost a couple of grand, and I think there's a chance that I can probably, bump it up until Tuesday. Probably might get another 2 or 3x out of it, and that'll be all right by me. Right, monkey? Oh, you're just such a little dog, aren't you? Get that ear scratch. Pretend like you're scratching with your little stump leg. Digno Doink, is it possible for the Pacific Plate to uplift the Cascade Mountain Range to elevations so far unrecorded, taller than the tallest point on Earth? No, because of the type of mountain range that the Cascades are. We can go back to Google Earth. Boom. Okay, so turn it and burn it. Okay, so you get the big mountain ranges when you get continent on continent collisions. And what happens when you have the Pacific Plate here and the Juan de Fuca Plate diving underneath a continent is that the oceanic rock is so much denser than the fluffy continental rock that it dives underneath, and it makes for little mountain ranges. So you have, the coastal range, the Olympic Mountains, the coastal range down Oregon into the California Alps. You get little mountain ranges. It's just like scraping off this see the shelf here? This is the accretion prism. So the plate's diving underneath that, and it's scraping off all the sediment, and that's what ends up building into these mountain ranges. And these things can get, in the Olympics, they get to like 8,000 feet. Same thing up on Vancouver Island. Down the California Alps, like out here near Trinity, these things can be 7, 8, 9,000 feet. They can get pretty decent. But for the most part, you're not going to get really big mountain ranges from that. The big mountains occur, hundreds of miles away from that subduction zone. You get the volcanic ranges. And so these are all volcanic chains, and these are like just big volcanoes. Mount Rainier is 14,000 feet. Adams is 12,000. St. Helens used to be like 9, 10,000, but it blew off its top. Mount Hood's around 11,000. So these single mountains, they can be pretty decent, but that's from volcanic action. Where you get the big mountain ranges, like the big giant monsters, are continent on continent collisions like the Himalayas. So these things, these can be huge, 10, 12, 6,000 meters, 8,000 meters, 20,000 plus feet. And this is because you got India, fluffy continental rock, Asia, fluffy continental rock, and they hit, and instead of one diving on the other, they just go ronk and make huge mountain ranges. The exception is probably the volcanic ranges of South America, but it is still volcanoes that are really tall. You got some that get up to 20,000 feet, Aconcagua and stuff, but it's nothing like the size of the Himalayas. Now, at one time, the Appalachian mountain range was probably about the size of the Himalayas, 250 million years ago or so. So we talked about this. The Appalachian range here used to be the Atlas range here, the highlands of Scotland, Greenland, and then the mountain coastal ranges along Norway. These were all part of the same system. and they broke apart. Like, first of all, these continents smashed together over the course of billions of years, built gigantic mountain ranges that were probably 20, 30,000 feet tall, and then a spreading ridge formed, and they split apart again. And so you get the spreading ridge here. And these huge continental shelves that you see, these big ones, these big giant continental shelves that are off the coasts of these continents, these are the erosion material that has flowed down from those mountain ranges, has been like whittled down over the years. And what happens is that the rocks slide down and they go into the rivers and streams and they make these continental shelves, and the continental crust actually rebounds, bringing up more to get eroded down, and it rebounds and brings up more. So a lot of the rock that is now exposed in this kind of windy Appalachian range here, a lot of this rock is really, really, really old. So you're looking at 400 or 500 million years. It was buried for a couple 100 million years, and everything else is worn away on top of it. So you're getting the old stuff popping up so that everyone can see. So you can find stuff that predates the dinosaurs in these rocks because that's how old they are. But all this continental shelf material, this is the ancient mountain range that's been flooded out and turned into like silt and is now layered out here, waiting to one day, I don't know, get slapped in another mountain range a couple billion years from now. So what's going to happen is probably the next chance for Himalaya-sized mountain range probably won't be for about 500 million years or so. It's going to be as the Pacific Ocean, which is the largest ocean, is getting smaller and smaller. So the spreading ridge is happening on the Atlantic, pushing the continents apart. And what's going to happen is that they're going to meet on the other side and close the Pacific. So you're going to have North America slap into Asia, and you're going to get a mountain range that will make the Himalayas look like child's play, because you're going to have, 7,000 miles or more of mountain range as these continents smash into each other. And the uplift just happens between them all. So all this ocean rock and sediment between it's going to get like scraped together and then just sent upwards into these huge mountain ranges. So it'll be a long time from now. And I guess if you wait long enough, yes, the Cascades will get uplifted 500 million years from now. But right now, the Pacific plate isn't the one that's going to do it. It's going to be smacking into the Asia plate that does it. And we have other remnants. The Ural Mountains here, this dividing line sort of between Western Europe and Eastern Europe that's in Russia. This was also a seam between two continents that formed, and you can kind of see these like windy little valleys. They look kind of similar to Appalachian valleys in their shape. And this was two continents that slapped together at some point, and actually you have a whole bunch of really bitchin' gemstones that are found in here as a result. A lot of really rare things like demantoid garnets and alexandrite and other rare gemstones that can only form in that kind of environment. So so that's an ancient seam of a really big mountain range that has since fallen apart. The Caucasus here are a mini version of the Himalayas. This is like Europe slapping into sort of the Middle East, and you can kind of see these swirly mountain ranges all through Turkey, Iran, into Afghanistan that kind of bleed into the more recent collision 40 million years ago between Asia and India, kind of doing the same thing. And then you've got places that haven't had collisions in a long time, like Australia. Australia broke off, 100 million years ago from Africa, and really hasn't had much mountain building happen since then. Not much volcanics, not much anything. And like the whole of the African continent also doesn't scream really big mountains, except for the volcanic ranges that align where the Rift Valley spreading ridge is. So yeah, that's what we got. Anywho, moving on. Bing. Millie McWoolhead, really glad you got rid of the mustache so I can watch again. Was the mustache that offensive? I met some ladies who have really dirty thoughts about the mustache, and they like were weak-kneed around me, and I was really surprised. They're just like, "Oh, hi Houston," and now they're very upset that the mustache is gone. So I have to wait till next year, and I'll bring it back and see who's knocking boots for that. Dig Doink, Plate Tectonics is wild. Eat some spam. That's a $9.99 for spam. 9.99. Yes. Okay. All right. Noted. Noted. Dig Dog Doink Silver Surfer shirt. It's like if Silver Surfer had to go to a Persian restaurant. Polestar says late yo. I wasn't that. I was at 7:30. I was all right. Joshua Auden 8931 episode 741 is market collapse. So says the prophecy. 2 shows away. We'll probably do one tomorrow and do one Friday. So I guess all the Doom stuff is going to happen on Friday, unless something keeps me from doing a show, right, little guy? GDC says, talking to Joe, it's Christmas time, so a few old school classics. The Bishop's Wife, 1947. It happened on Fifth Avenue, 1947. And Christmas in Connecticut, 1945. All good black and white movies. On Thanksgiving, my cousin had like a Christmas movie channel on, silent. And while we're doing Thanksgiving dinner, they did... what was the first movie that was on? It was Christmas Story. And then it was Jingle All the Way, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then Miracle on 34th Street. So we made it through 3 films while we're doing dinner and just silently in the corner while my niece and nephew, who were bored out of their minds because no one's close to their age, just like read the subtitles. Everyone else was visiting like old people do. ECB, Alex the Grifter has an embarrassing team of actors trying to tell the story of the hell we're going through. Even more insulting, they want a couple million from starving people to produce it. I don't know who Alex the Grifter is. Or what movie. There's been a lot of movies, documentaries about the whole GME thing and retail traders. And the problem is that none of them have the ending yet. They talked about like built up to it, but it's not over. And so the movies that come about when it's over are going to be more interesting than these ones. And that's what I'd say. Nostalgia T7000. Where do we turn on Houston dark mode? I know this one is bright. I mean, maybe we can. There we go. Dim that a lot. Does that help? That make your pupils dilate a little more. Mitt Cornetto, how does Houston sort his washing? Shiny versus not shiny? I don't bother. I just throw everything in. I don't care. With the plastic shirts, though, I don't put them in the dryer. So I wash them, and then I just hang them to dry, and they're good to go. Some of them need, like, a little smoothing out because they can get pressed a bit. But, for the most part, it's okay. Bubrin would imagine visually. Sorting. Polestar, Trump going after Somalians again. Yeah, it's going to bode well in the swing state of Minnesota. Joe loves Christmas movies and thanking GDC for it. Help Desk 000. BBY bonds, can you elaborate on that? Not too much, other than just the fact the bonds are no longer in default, listed in default. So my guess it means there's equity coming or cash coming, or they're going to be reissue the debt under a new entity. And it's going to continue that way. So one of those 3 things. That's the only way I can think of them no longer being in default, because people still haven't gotten their interest payments on those bonds, which would make them in default. So there must be something coming for it to not be listed as default anymore. Polestar is saying ICE is going to hit World Cup events. ICE is the dumbest motherfuckers in the entire world. Like, how like the whole what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas thing. The point of that is you're Sin City, right? You allow people to come and do things they wouldn't necessarily get away with elsewhere. And you're not going to blab their secrets to everyone so that they want to come back and enjoy your space. If anyone comes from overseas to spend money in your country and you make their lives fucking miserable, they're not going to come to your country anymore. And they're not going to get that money. In Vegas alone, Canadians boycotting Vegas have cost the local economy $4 billion. And Canadians boycotting American alcohol alone has cost the liquor industry $900 million. why are we pissing off people who are going to bring money to our economies? It is so stupid. ICE, you're stupid. President Trump, you're stupid. You're dumb. You're dumb motherfuckers. Don't you like money? I thought the entire thing was money, 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 money. And here you are losing money, costing everyone money, making things worthless and devalued. I don't get it. You brain dead idiots. Oh well. Again, I don't have the power to do anything about it, so here we are. We're in my stupid shirt, just chit-chatting. Mint Cornetto, that new Pompeii excavation show is really good. I haven't heard about a Pompeii excavation show. I totally watch that. Swim Heist. What do you think are the best ways for folks to oppose AI data centers in their backyard? I'm following my state's Public Service Commission as a start. Probably banding together as many of your neighbors as possible. Getting your local governments, so your local cities and counties, electing people who are going to be like, fuck no. That's probably the best thing to do. Be as NIMBY as possible on that. So I'm all for being NIMBYs on data centers. They're going to suck up all your water. They're going to use all your electricity, and they're going to poison all of you. There's a big data center that Amazon is using, and they're sucking up all of the irrigation water, the runoff from the local farm, so use nitrate fertilizers and stuff. And the problem is that water enters a data center, gets evaporated off so that it can cool off the processors, and then that water vapor is full of nitrates, and it's been poisoning the communities because they're aerosolizing all these nitrates. People are getting like weird thyroid conditions and whatnot, and cancers, and benign tumor growth, and glioblastomas, and also stuff as a result of Amazon now vaporizing this nitrate runoff water. Granted, nitrate fertilizers are just toxic in general and create giant dead zones in ecosystems, but now that you're aerosolizing it and putting it in everyone breathing it in constantly, now you're just poisoning people that way. So I think, until AI can be done much more efficiently without these high energy data centers, then we don't do AI. We keep it experimental until then. And we don't just release it on the population so that everything terrible happens all at once. It's really bad. Mint Cornetto, I had 12,000 BBBY and sadly just given up on it. I still think something's going to happen with it. I just think the timeline is really stupid that they're not doing it sooner. Juice Mammy, I'd like personally thank Martin Shkreli for the loot I made today, and his account is so deep red. Woohoo! Yeah, there was a biotech. Martin Shkreli came out and announced he had a huge short position on it, and that their tech would not pass the tests, and it would be revealed today. And then right at market open, they revealed that it passed the tests, and the stock flew from $7 to $23, $24. If you had the $17 calls, it went up 120,000% this morning. 120,000%. What? Holy shit. So that's every dollar that you spent, you made $1,200. So if you spent $1,000 on those call options, you would have $1.2 million at open today. Dang. I wish I had known about it. Good job, Julius. He bought the shares. He didn't get the options. But the options absolutely made millionaires today. I guarantee it. And Martin Shkreli, who's one of the biggest assholes on earth, is... that's his face right now. So, good job, Julius. CP, what was it? CPDR? What was the name of that? What was that company? Here was Capricorn. That's what it was. Capricorn. So turn off the Google Earth. Turn on the Chrome. Select this guy. Yeah. So, data released in stock triggered a dramatic response from the controversial former pharma executive and prominent short seller Martin Shkreli, who had publicly bet against Capricor's success. Bazinga reached out to Capricorn Therapeutics for comment, but did not receive an immediate response. The furious rally in CAPR stock represents a major reversal and massive paper loss for any short position held going into the data readout, causing a short squeeze and driving the stock price even higher. It went from $7 to $20-something at open. Absolutely went nuts. 46 points. Oh, go get him, monkey. Oh, sorry. Roommates, I'm going to have to close the door now. Un momento, por favor. Monkey butt. The door because I'm doing my show. Come here. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. There we go. All right. Okay. So yeah, Martin Shkreli said that the report was going to be bad, and that it was the company's only asset would be a good report basically, and it did exactly the opposite. So oops, I think Capricorn failed. It doesn't say pre-specified primary endpoint, and they're taking the primary endpoint scale and doing post hoc analysis on it. This was at 4 a.m. today, and then the stock came out and it just shot up. The report came out, shot up 356%, hit 29.02 at one point, and absolutely rocketed. So the people who bought calls on that, good for you. I hope you enjoy your retirement. I wish I had known. But no one whispered in my ear about any of this, and c'est la vie, right? Good job, Julio, on that one. Boink. Okay, kitty. Yeah, you little booger. Kelly Reed, 7665. Happy birthday, HW. Reverse repo had over 40 party members, and it was only at $2.5 billion. Liquidity getting really dry. It's interesting that there was 40 partners, because like the other week it was at a couple billion and there was only like 10. So I wonder if people are just like throwing some chump change or something in there, and that's what, in desperation. I don't know. Polestar, can you bring one of your favorite shirts that you won't wear and show us? Well, I got one. I think one in the close by closet. One sec. This is a Hawaiian shirt from the 1930s. It's only in this close closet because this is from the 1930s. This is a silk, really nice shirt. It doesn't even have a label in it. It is labelless, so it may have been like a homemade silk shirt. But all the really nice ones I actually have in a closet at my mom's house. That's closet number 4 is the one at my mom's house. And so I usually take them and put them in that closet over there. Don't you dare try to claw this, you little shit. You stay right there. Okay, I'll just hang that guy there for the moment. You can stay right there until done with the show. But yeah, that's a 90-something-year-old Hawaiian shirt, and the colors are super vibrant. It is awesome, and that one does not get worn. Don't you dare! Don't you dare! I see you trying to go in front of my computer screen. Don't even think about it. Just stay. Drink your drugs. Look at all these drugs right there. How many drugs I've given you that you have just spread around with your breathy little nose? Oh, don't you dare try to eat me. Eat your drugs, you little freak. Yeah, there's a pile. Get it. Mint Cornetto. Elliptical orbit of the Earth does have seasons, though, but like hundreds of thousands of years, we're in a quaternary of the last ice age. We're still in it, so warming up again. Well, we are actually on the opposite side of that. We should be cooling off. Temperatures were getting cooler since about 8,000 years ago, which was the peak, and we should be slipping into another ice age. But because we pumped so much CO2 in the atmosphere and other greenhouse gases, the temperature is actually rising, causing that seasonality, that, once every 100,000 year seasonality to be disrupted. Oh, there you go. There you go. Just going to go stand in front of the thing again. Okay, good. You're away from my computer screen. So we're ruining that. Here's Alan Houston. Did you see Dozing Donnie in his MAGA meeting? And absolutely no one dared comment on it. They're like, "You're the best president ever," and his eyes were shut. wait, let's fall asleep. He's like, he's just out, unresponsive. And he's like farting like crazy. So the people next to him are just like trying not to make faces. So there's a guy that does home health care for dementia patients. He's a PhD, and I see his videos every once in a while. He talks about like the stages that Donnie's going into, and that the more people talk about how he has dementia and how his brain is failing him, the more he's going to freak out, which is going to cause him to flop his circadian rhythm, which is going to cause him to sleep during the daytime and then freak out on Twitter at 3 a.m. Remember, was it last night or the night before? He posted 400 times on his Truth Social, just random bonkers ass shit in like an hour. That's because he's broken his normal night-day cycle and his brain doesn't work anymore. And so he sundowns, but then gets like in a manic episode and just goes bonkers. And the more we talk about it, the more he's going to slip away from reality and just being pissed off about all that. You also get the people who are like, I talked with Trump and he's just rambling off statistics and facts, and you just don't know how smart he is. And I will tell you this: if Donald Trump wants to play me in a game of Trivial Pursuit, I will give him $1 billion if he beats me. You hear that, Donnie? $1 billion I will give you if you can beat me in a game of Trivial Pursuit. But if I win, you have to resign. That's the deal. There you go. Okay. BBBY brand, they say being president ages you. What's it going to do to Don? Well, I don't think other presidents got to sleep in until noon. So, if it ages the other presidents because they're up at like 5 a.m. and they go to bed at 3, so they get no sleep whatsoever, and they're dealing with crisis after crisis. Whereas this guy doesn't deal with crisis; he just wakes up at noon, creates a crisis, and then goes back to bed. And they don't deal with those things. So I think the stress factors are a little different. I think the stress for Donnie is that he doesn't get to play golf 7 days a week, and that's what hurts him the most. Hazel Allen says it's already happening. Epstein files are going to take him out. Well, that'd be lovely. Julius throwing another super chat in here. SEC punts short sales disclosure. Sure, again, so much for the Trump admin going after naked shorting. That's what I was trying to tell everybody a year and a half ago. Trump won't do anything about naked shorting. Yeah, he don't care. He don't care. Because all you have to do, if you're a naked short guy, is slip him some cash and be like, and he's like, gotcha. That's all happens. They're taking bribes, yo. And that's life. Pay to play. That's what America's turned into, right, monkey butt? Pay to play. Turkish, yo, HB. Houston butt. Let's feed monkey butt some nice stanky treats. Well, we got some more up here. You want a pig ear? Yeah? Oh, kitty, do you want a pig ear? There's a pig ear for monkey. There you go. Does kitty want a pig ear? We probably do I don't think we do a full pig. There's a small one. Can you get that, kitty? Yeah? Yeah, you want to try it? You can eat a pig ear? I don't know if you can. I don't know if your little mouth is strong enough, but I'll leave one there for you in case give it a whirl. Oh, he's trying. He's trying real hard. Nice. Okay. Marcella Giordano. Hey, Houston. Any thoughts on doing one show a week that focuses more on good news? Might break up the depressing reality we find ourselves in. I don't know if I can come up with enough good news for a show. I'll be honest. I don't think I can come up with enough material of good news. It might just turn into me talking about baseball transactions, and that'll be it. So, yeah, get it, buddy. Yeah. Come on. That's up here. It's right there. Yeah. Got you real hard. Got you real hard, man. Gotta just get in there and chew real hard. Yeah. Guess you can just keep licking it. I'll put it right there for you. Okay. Peter Brand Good News has been mainstream since the 80s. Yeah. Hey, Alan, even Teflon wears when you scrub it in a million times. Oh, talking about Trump being Teflon Don. Yeah. Okay. Oh, 7:30. Polestar, I hope one day we find out what that 741 actually means. I don't know. It's weird that it's like become like a rallying cry and no one knows what it means, but somehow an inside joke anyway. Okay, people talking about World War II movies. We'll do one more question here, and then I'm going to run away. Teddy B, favorite movie about cars? Oh. I am a Herbie stan. I love Herbie. So I've watched all the Herbie movies. I own even like made-for-TV ones on VHS. I love Herbie. They're silly. They hit me in my formative years as a child, and I was like, fuck yeah. Modern car movies, like, there's good racing. I still haven't seen the F1 one with Brad Pitt. I haven't seen that one yet. It's popping up on the streaming services. Maybe I'll hit it up. But for the most part, most F1 movies have always been terrible. There was a really bad one. I guess it was kart racing with Stallone from like 20 years ago. Days of Thunder was really good, but driving in a circle is really boring. Mostly good car movies are like documentaries about, the Class B rally racing and stuff like that. There are goofy movies like Corvette Summer, which is absolutely silly as can be. There's that movie with Greg Kinnear about the guy who invented the intermittent wipers, and then Ford stole it, and he took him like 30 years to represent himself in courts to finally get a giant ruling and millions of dollars out of Ford for stealing his invention. That one's actually pretty decent. What are the car movies, Monkey? What are the car movies? I like the documentary on, I guess it was Nissan, maybe like 10 years ago, 10 years ago, wanted to enter Le Mans again. And too bad their head engineer was just a doofus. He wanted a front engine car to go up against all those hypercars, and it just didn't work. But they had the contest for, it was like Gran Turismo or something like that. Some car video game, and they selected these kids who like had to post the best track times, and then took them to a school and actually taught them how to race the cars physically, and then a couple of them became pros in Formula One and other racing series. So like, I thought that shit was kind of cool. It was a documentary. It's too bad that Nissan made a garbage car for Le Mans at that point. Yeah. Ford vs Ferrari was a good one. That was a good movie. The Ferrari movie itself wasn't that good. It just kind of highlighted like that huge tragic crash, and where like dozens of people were killed in that race to Milan. But yeah, The World's Fastest Indian, not a car but a motorcycle. That was a really good movie with Anthony Hopkins in it. What else? What else, Monkey? I don't know. I'll think of others. If you have others, send them to me. Okay, I am out of here. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You guys have a great night. I'll catch you tomorrow for a daytime show, and keep on keeping on, right? Nighttime. Bam. Oops. Bam.